Good afternoon, this is Cheryl. I'm coming to you with your 10-minute motivation mentor, not motivation, 10-minute mentor. Could be motivational. But anyway, today I want to talk to you real quickly about communication. The reason I am coming to you with this topic is because I am a certified speech teacher, written speeches for professional individuals who are on the speaking circuit, and I am a public relations marketing professional as well. So I'm going to talk to you real quickly about 10 ways to communicate effectively. And I think these are important because no matter what you do in life, you will have to be able to communicate. And you'll have to pardon my voice. I've been sick. And Miss Tony told me I needed to get this done, so here I am. Alright, feel free to weigh in on any of the communication ideas I'll be discussing with you. You can email me at cheryl@cherylrisher.com. So number one, pause before responding. I don't know about you, but often I'm in a rush for something, and whenever I'm trying to communicate, I usually try to do it real quick. I talk really fast, as you can tell. As hard as it is for me to just pause sometimes, I've actually found that it works wonders when it comes to communicating effectively with others. Sometimes just that tiny break gives me an opportunity to think about what I really need to say and what I need them to understand, so that I'm able to formulate my thoughts a little easier. Number two, I would say be trustworthy and honest. When you're trustworthy and honest, communication becomes a lot less complicated. You don't have to think about what you're doing or what you're going to say wrong, and you don't have to worry about uncovering a secret or a dishonest statement. And so being trustworthy and honest, I think, is really important when you're communicating. You don't have to remember what you said because you're just telling the truth, right? Number three, don't rush communication. This goes back to that point that came up. The first point I brought up was when you're rushing and trying to get through your communication real quickly, then that's when things can go wrong. Often when you're in a rush, we forget things or we misplace things, and that the same goes for that type of communication. So next time you find yourself communicating with someone else, slow down and really pay attention. Taking just that little extra time could end up making a huge difference. Number four, adapt your ideas to others. So what I mean by that is when we come up with an idea, we often have a set image in our minds, and that image isn't always easily conveyed to others. So you're like, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like you're trying to tell somebody something, you're like, you know what I mean? You see what I mean? And they really don't. And so you have to be careful so that if you really want your ideas to be heard, you have to work with the person you're speaking to find a way to communicate that idea in a way that he or she will understand. So this means you have to take the time to get to know your audience if you really, truly want to be able to communicate with them effectively. Number five, stay in the moment. I know you love this one, right? When you devote your full attention to the person or people you're communicating with, you're more likely to have much better results. I know for a fact that's very, very true. Whenever I've gotten distracted and stopped paying attention, which is kind of often, to the person I'm communicating with, the communication can quickly go down south. And I'm asking them, what'd you say? Okay, wait, say that again. Repeat that. Because I tend to get distracted really easily. So I may be talking to somebody and I may be multitasking, doing several things. And so I have to remind myself to stay in the moment. So if you want to communicate your thoughts effectively, you have to stay in the present moment and you really be there when you're speaking and listening. Number six, pay attention to nonverbal cues. That's a nonverbal cue. This is essential when it comes to effective communication. So much of what we say is actually not said. It's actually, if you really want to understand what others are really thinking or saying, you have to do more than just listen. You kind of have to look too. You have to look and experience it. It's very easy to say something and not really feel it. So it's very important that when communicating, you look both at your own nonverbal cues and those the others are sending you. So for example, if someone's sitting with their arms folded, does it seem like they're open or to receiving what you're saying? No. So you be sure that when you're talking, you don't have your arms crossed and that you're actually loose so people can see how open you are to what you're talking about. Number seven is intend to understand. This is an idea that comes from Stephen Covey. He focuses on the concept of listening and actually understand what is being said rather than listening just to respond with what you want to say. So you know those times when someone's talking and you're wanting to interrupt because you know immediately what you want to say? Stephen Covey says you intend to understand. Listen to understand. So not listen to respond, but to understand. So this can be tricky. If you're anything like me, you're always ready to respond with your own opinion. But too often we're not really trying to understand what others are saying, but instead we're trying to find a way to jump in for our points. I recommend to people to write your comments down. So if you're talking to someone, you say, do you mind if I write while you talk, just so I don't interrupt you? And usually people are really open to that. Number 9, be patient and open-minded. Communication, even the easiest of communication, can be tough at times, which is why it's so very important to be both patient and open-minded in your interactions with others. Recognize that you might not necessarily be communicating as effectively as you like, and remember to also be patient with yourself. So no matter what the situation, there's a way to communicate. Sometimes it just takes a little time. Be patient and keep your mind open for new ways of sharing and understanding. Number 9, follow up after communicating. Too often we assume that whatever we've attempted to communicate was received just the way we sent it. And unfortunately, more often than not, that's not the case. So if you're communicating with someone, especially if it's important, to make sure that you follow up after you've communicated. Assuming that your message was heard and understood is a big no-no in the effective communication world. So you can't just automatically assume that people understood what you said. You have to actually follow up with them. So no matter how obvious your message might be, it never hurts to follow up. And then number 10, the final in the 10 steps of effective communication is ask for feedback from others. When it's all said and done, one of the best ways you can learn to communicate more effectively is to particularly with specific individuals, is to ask for feedback. Take some time to speak to those who you communicate with frequently to find out how you can improve on your communication with them. Sometimes all it takes is a few suggestions and you'll be on the road to creating a better understanding with someone else. It's not always easy to ask for feedback, but trust me, it's really worth it. So basically, communication can be tricky at times, especially if you're in a situation where you need to communicate difficult topics or discuss hard-to-grasp ideas. There are many ways to communicate. Ways communication can be made ineffective, and it's all too easy to let effective communication skills slip through the cracks. So however, if you really want to make the most of your life and you want to continually strive to improve your relationship with others and with yourself, you must stay on top of your communication game. Pay attention to how you communicate with others and also pay attention to how others communicate with you. You may have learned a thing or two from this conversation, but you can always learn more, and one of the best ways is to observe and then take action so you can watch others. If you admire someone or if you're trying to get somewhere, find someone who's already there and then watch how they do it. Pay attention to what's going on around you and what choices you're making when it comes to communicating with others. Being more aware will help you to be more proactive in your effective communication efforts. So now I encourage you to go out there and communicate. There is a book, in fact, where I got this information. It's called Stay Positive. There's a website actually called staypositive365.com. The book is called Stay Positive, Daily Reminders for Positively Present. And then I recommend that if you don't have it, pick up the book from Stephen Covey, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. It's a great personal read for you just to kind of have it and go over it as needed. I hope you have had an opportunity to learn something with this, and I look forward to coming back to you real soon with another mentor motivation 10 minutes or whatever. Take care.